All right, what's up, guys? Welcome to Nerdthusiast, our poker podcast and videos. We have two great sponsors I want to talk about. First, I want to talk about a new Twitch channel that I'm a part of, and I'm glad to be a part of it. It is called the Slot Squad. It actually starts January 1st, 2021. I'm going to be on there with a couple other people. Check it out. Please go there. Subscribe to the Twitch page. It's free to do. Does not cost anything to do. You can sign up, follow the page. And for doing so, you'll be able to see exclusive sign-up bonuses for all different kinds of casinos. We're going to play poker, live dealer, blackjack, roulette, all kinds of cool stuff. So please, please, please stop by, check that out, and come talk to me. I talk in the chat all day when we're on there. Yeah. We're pretty much on there every single night. Brian's been on there. He's seen me on there. We do giveaways, T-shirts, all kinds of cool stuff. So twitch.tv/theSlotSquad, all one word. Check that out. Also, check out, we have another sponsor as well. So if you are in New Jersey or you plan on being in New Jersey and you are a poker player like us, check out our link. It is going to be in the description. It's an exclusive link. It's going to give you $20 for signing up using that link. And also, you can get up to a $1,500 match bonus as well for your first deposit. But for the $20 you get for using that link down below, you do not have to put one deposit in. It is just put your information in there and you're good to go. Obviously, 888 is a very trusted brand, but if you use our link, you get the free bonus sign up. Plus, it helps out us grow this podcast more. So we appreciate it. Check it out. Go down below. Let us know what you think. All right, guys?
Thanks a lot, guys.
Thank you.
All right, guys, welcome back. Nerdthusiast Poker Podcast. This will be, what, our third, fourth podcast?
Yeah, something like that. I think our official third. We had like a preview one that failed horrendously.
Yep. So I'm Brian, not the man Keen, and we have
Anthony Itahogi Sakali. Welcome.
Looking good, man. I'm liking the beard, a little different, right?
Yeah, so I'm raising some money for charity. We're doing a no shave November. Happy Hairy Holidays. We're raising money for an organization that helps out people with addiction problems. So I'm growing the beard till at least January 1st, and then we'll see what happens. So I usually grow it out when we do the charity thing, and I also do it like, you know, like hockey, they do like a playoff beard. Yeah. I do it for like Vegas though. It's like my Vegas beard. Like I won't shave. Like I look like a degenerate. By the end of my Vegas trip, I'm like just all scruffy as hell. And
see, I wish I had the ability to grow a beard, but it grows in so spotty.
Yeah, mine does a little bit on the side.
Yeah,
but
I just couldn't do it. Goatee, I could rock a goatee. I could get down with that.
We gotta start a trend like a beard Vegas thing, like a playoff beard thing going on there.
Yeah,
we'll start the trend. Beards for a cause. So what's up? What are we talking about? What are we starting with here?
So we a couple, I think it was on our first podcast, we touched on the tournament poker scene, live poker coming back to a couple locations throughout the country. The first being the Venetian out in Las Vegas. After that podcast, we were actually contacted by the tournament director out there. His name's Tommy LaRussa. He's been there for I guess, over close to 20 years, maybe a little bit over 20 years, since 1999. He actually helped open the poker room at the Venetian. I think that happened, in the early 2000s, and he's been the tournament director there for about 8 years now. So he saw the pod, he reached out to us, and we kind of had a little bit of a conversation about, what they were experiencing with all the COVID restrictions and stuff like that. So I asked him if he wouldn't mind if, we could get in contact with him, send him some questions that we had that I'm sure a lot of you out there that are chomping at the bit to get back into the live scene, but you're a little bit hesitant because everything that's going on with the pandemic still and all the restrictions.
He's great on like Twitter. Like he actually responds to you. Like it's beyond me that it's 2020 now. You have all these social media stuff, and like a lot of these poker rooms like don't take advantage of it. Like Twitter is huge for poker world, you know what I mean? Like, and YouTube and other things as well. But Twitter is huge. It takes what, like 3 seconds? You're on the floor. You're on the floor. You can literally respond to a tweet like, "Hey, what's going on?" I mean, I send out tweets all the time to like poker rooms and stuff, like asking questions. and I won't get a response at all, or like 5 days later.
Yeah.
Like, and he,
It was great.
He'll respond.
yeah.
I mean, I don't understand. That should be like a format. Like, you have to respond to social media comments, or at least, informational comments. Like, you don't have to worry about trolls. But, when you ask him, like, hey, what's going on with this? He actually responds, and that's,
Yeah. So some of the questions we asked, and I'll read them as I wrote them and kind of the responses that were given back. The first one was, did they meet the listed guarantees for each event? So this is going back to September when they had their first, official tournament after the pandemic kind of started to subside a little bit.
Yeah, this was like the first, I guess major, right? Like, this is like the first major one in the United States, I would say, and especially in Las Vegas. This was like the first major event that like any casino was having for tournaments.
Yep. So it was their deep stack extravaganza. That's kind of what they go with every time they have a tournament series. So we asked, if they met the guarantees, and the response was pretty much, with all the variables with the pandemic and so on and so forth, the guarantees that they listed, and we touched on in our podcast, was 50% of what they usually list them at. But the good news was that they actually met the guarantee in all of their events and actually exceeded some of the prize pools. So that's a good sign for people who are kind of reluctant to get in there. If to some people it's not worth it if the guarantees aren't really there. But it looks like they met all their guarantees for that event. And since that initial Deep Stack extravaganza, they've actually had 2 others,
and they have a couple coming up,
and they have another one coming up. So
yeah.
Just looking at some of their guaranteed prize pools, for this current one, I think they're guaranteed $1.3 million in guaranteed prizes. So that's pretty substantial over the course of an entire series. So one of the main things we wanted to touch on was the COVID restrictions, and if there was any issues with the players and kind of adhering to those rules.
Yeah, because poker players don't always follow the rules, so as we know. So yeah, I'm curious. What did he say about that?
So we touched on it. They had the Venetian clean commitment, which was basically a protocol that they put in place that incorporated 800 different initiatives in response to the COVID restrictions, which was geared towards minimizing risk to the players and to the staff.
Yeah, of course.
So some of the restrictions, they required all players to sanitize their hands before sitting down at the table. So there was multiple sanitizing stations throughout the room. They were frequently wiping down the tables, the chairs, the plexiglass dividers, so on and so forth. And then they've made some changes to some things that they've experienced, but no complaints. I actually was following a lot of the events and the people that were in it on Twitter, and Mr. LaRussa had gotten multiple compliments on how they ran the tournament, how everyone there was very, very pleased with the way that they took the restrictions. They took it all very seriously, and they were doing what they vowed to do. So that's good for anyone out there that's kind of was concerned about that. We did ask what lessons were learned and if they would have any plans to change things moving forward. And like anything else, they realize that people want to play live poker.
That's a good sign.
Yeah,
that's a real good sign that they hit their guarantees, and obviously people are coming back.
I think one of the things they might have ran into is they weren't expecting to get as many people as they got.
Yeah.
So there was plans to expand the number of tables that were available. So I think for the second event, they actually went out there and added an additional 10 tables outside the poker room. To kind of deal with the overflow of people actually coming in and playing. But everything else in regards to like additional restrictions or rolling back or anything like that, they've been kind of powering forward with it.
I didn't see anyone on Twitter being thrown out of the poker room for not wearing a mask or anything, so I guess that's a good sign, right? Like, so no one got tossed. Because that's what I was expecting. I was like, dude, someone's going to be pissed. Like, I'm not wearing a mask. And it's like, it's going to end up on like, I was waiting for that Twitter feed to happen, but that never happened. So, I mean, that's good that people were kind of sticking to the restrictions and whatnot.
So then, we wanted to know what their future plans were in regards to tournaments and when we could expect another event following that initial Deep Stack. And I already talked about it. I mean, they had 2 events, met all the guaranteed prize pools in those, and there's another that they just scheduled. I think we just saw it released last night on Twitter. Mr. LaRussa tweeted it, starting February 27th or the 2nd, running through the 27th.
Yeah.
Of early next year. they're guaranteeing. I think it was $2 million in guarantees. Close to $2 million in guarantees.
So it's not leaked yet, but I did see a preview of what it looks like. There's a lot of big events in this one, so I think they're trying to go and see maybe test the waters with the bigger events now.
Yeah.
And see what happens. So there's like 1,100 buy-ins. I think there's a 2,500 buy-in in there. So I think they're starting to test the waters a little bit, see what of that going to come back. Because they might be able to fill the $300 seats, but like this is the real test now. Are they going to be able to fill the big seats like they were? So I guess that will kind of give us a little more of an idea, and we kind of maybe follow up after that in March and see what happened with that.
Not to go off task, but I mean, prior to COVID hitting, and just kind of staying on the East Coast, the Borgata Winter Open is always scheduled to begin right after the new year, January, and runs through, end of January, early February, and that's always been
that's the event.
That's the event. That's always their big dog. They get like a $2 million guarantee, and their guarantees are fairly high. So I think that's kind of why they're following suit. Is like, look,
let's take advantage of this.
We're the only game in town, so I think
let's do it.
Yeah, they're probably gonna see a big turnout for that event.